Mamma mia.
Are we still making these jokes, or is it just me? As if an animated Mario movie from Illumination wasn't surreal enough, we got a sequel to it before too long, skipping any and all logic and going straight for the cosmos with Mario Galaxy. A bold choice, though personally, I wasn't hyped for this one at first. I love a good Mario, and I love the Galaxy games, but if you know me, you know where my heart truly lies. Even before this got announced, something told me Donkey Kong wouldn't have a big role in the sequel if he'd be there at all, so I had less drive to check it out immediately. And then as opening day drew closer and we learned more about it, my excitement grew again, which hit a Nintendo crescendo with the Fox McCloud reveal a week out. That's twice now where the non-Mario stuff gets me to the theater, and I'm totally cool with that. Though as the reviews started pouring in, a lot of them were pretty lukewarm about what they saw if they didn't straight up hate it. Although I don't really care what the internet thinks about anything, I did temper my expectations a bit, which basically equated to, I'll see it when I feel like seeing it. Coming out of the theater, I thought the first movie, while not without its own flaws, ended up telling a better overall story. Still, I enjoyed myself far more than most reviews had told me I would, even if my theater had garbage teens who deserved to get thumped with a bag of oranges. So I'm just gonna give you my assorted thoughts on this, and I'll put up a spoiler warning now, I'm not holding anything back. So what did I enjoy here? Well, we got good-looking visuals and animation, a good soundtrack with less licensed stuff and more Nintendo homages, the typical stuff everyone else has checked off. I also really liked Bowser and Bowser Jr.'s interactions. It's actually kinda heartwarming to see them care for each other. And even though I would have liked to have seen more, I'd still say it's better than anything the games have given us. And when Fox showed up, no notes there. I think he got the perfect amount of screen time too, and they showed much more restraint with him than they did with DK. Now, don't get it twisted, I love the role DK had in the first movie, but it was almost to the film's detriment story-wise. At a point, you kind of forget it's a Mario movie, and like, who would have thought DK would be a better Luigi than Luigi? Galaxy found a better balance where Fox steals the show, but it doesn't become the Star Fox movie featuring Mario and friends. But you know, they did crash land on a planet full of dinosaurs. Yeah, I can read between the lines. You say Fossil Falls, I say King Red-Eye. The one thing I didn't like with Fox was the barrel roll references. There's only two, but when Toad said the line verbatim, just, but whatever, I'll survive, I guess. Barring that, the humor in general was okay, nothing too groan-worthy. The first movie had like 2 lines where they used nouns as verbs, i.e., you just got Luigi'd and that is how you princess, which almost bothered me, but nothing like that here. In fact, there were a few jokes I audibly laughed at, so if you're not a cynical sack, you might get caught off guard somewhere. And I know I just said I was cool with the Kong restraint, but of course I'm happy DK was still mentioned, in the form of what I thought I'd get when I first heard about a Mario movie. Any reference dropped had me happily keeping score in my brain. Though I wonder why DK was in Brooklyn during Yoshi's flashback. Does he just like the change of pace, or maybe he's got other motives? Maybe he's gonna go to City Hall, gonna see the mayor! The mayor! I also enjoyed Peach more here. She could still kick butt, but I felt she had far more personality. And what they did with her and Rosalina was pretty cool, though I wish they spent some more screen time together. Which leads me into the criticism section, and the biggest one? Well, Miyamoto said it best, before the movie even came out.
Things happen one after another, without a chance to catch your breath.
No doubt about that. Truthfully, I kept up with the film just fine, but there were some times where I thought, wait, we're on to the next thing, just like that? Well, okay. We've also got a bigger cast here, but most of them have a lot less to do if they weren't Peach or Bowser and Son. Luigi's got a bigger presence, but he basically just serves as Mario's wingman. Mario's motive here is maybe asking Peach out on a date, but Luigi's got nothing. Even though he's in the first movie less, he still had an arc trying to prove he and Mario weren't second-rate nobodies, with Mario also trying to save him. And Yoshi, he's just along for the ride, which, when you think about his role in a lot of games, it's honestly pretty true to form. I enjoyed his shtick for what it was. Some other characters didn't have as big a role as I'd have hoped, especially when they got spotlights in Nintendo Directs and all. We all know Rosalina got robbed here, but what bothered me more was the lack of Wart and his fellow 8-bits. They're in here for 5 minutes and Wart barely gets to fight before we're on to the next scene. And you know, between that and Fox saying, "That's what I get for making a frog my engineer," what exactly is up with the frog slander here? Honey Queen has even less of a presence, which made me question why she needed a celebrity to voice her for like a minute of dialogue. And while I'm talking about voice performances, everyone does a good job, but Chris Pratt's Mario continues to have all the appeal and charisma of a handful of rockets, like he's trying to give the most average performance in his life. For more Salt of the Earth VAs, it's nice to hear Eric Bauza again. And Ukiki shares a voice with, Carmelita Fox from Sly 1? Okay, why not? You'll love to see it. Now, this might just be a case of the old sequelitis, but the first movie felt more like an event. Mario's first movie in decades, Nintendo handling co-production. We got Brooklyn, Mario's family, Super Show callbacks, everything with DK, a retroactive farewell to Charles Martinet. Even though movie 2 goes to space, it ironically didn't feel as momentous, but again, it's not our first Mario rodeo. And like it's called the Galaxy movie, but it's far from an adaptation of those games. Not a single Banandylion in sight, which would have killed 2 birds with 1 stone, but I'm actually all for the approach of celebrating everything Mario. You ever see Mario Bros. Z? It's kinda like that. That embrace of everything Mario and Nintendo also made those Easter eggs so much fun, cause in my mind I was thinking Galaxy, then got blindsided with tons of other stuff. Like the Ruined Dragon from Odyssey, Mr. Game & Watch's cameo, Rob being all like, look at me, I'm a robot. Then there's the Mario Maker bit, which, you know that Dragon Ball episode with the Muscle Tower maze that had the video game interface? Well, that's where my mind went to. And that Bowser Bridge bit, I didn't think I'd get tingles seeing the fight from Mario 1 on the big screen. Then Bowser falls in the lava and comes back out as Dry Bowser. That was pretty metal. It's also kinda like Gruntilda and Banjo-Tooie, right down to being just ahead at the end. Props to them for naturally setting that up in the film too, and I didn't even see it coming until it happened. And you know, Luigi singing That's Amore, my brain instantly went to when Mario sang that in Mario Teaches Typing 2. I just wish Unagi returned in this movie, cause we all know that's Amore.
I say they're funny.
So, if you haven't heard, this movie has folks divided on, should this have tried harder, what did you expect from a Mario Illumination film, yada yada. I hear this all the time with animated stuff especially. And the tune's likely gonna change when DreamWorks' Forgotten Island releases, and when something crap comes out after, it'll cycle right back. Time's a flat circle. On one hand, if this was a masterpiece across the board, no one would say the movie crew tried too hard. When a kid's movie is great, we all win. But you know, it's okay to watch a movie that isn't trying to be super exceptional. We should all strive to do better, but truthfully, we don't all watch 5-star masterclasses every day to be entertained. I've got shows and games that aren't the end-all be-all, but they're still worth my time, they still make me happy, and I'm sure you watch stuff that's lowbrow or trash, but it gets you through the day. I know some of you watch my videos, don't lie to me. I've seen movies far better and far worse than this, video game-based or otherwise, but I can tell you I was never bored, which is the ultimate sin for anything. Aside from those kids who need to be belted with citrus fruit, I had a good time out. It's a good representation of the Mario brand, so I think at this point, we figured out how to portray a video game in movie form accurately. Now, if we can get more well-written stories on top of that for folks of all ages, we'll truly be in heaven. I'm not knocking this movie for not doing that, as great as that would have been, but I'm okay with others trying to raise the bar. As it stands, my favorite movie based on a game is still, Pokemon The Power of Us. Yes, it counts! The Galaxy movie does some things better than the last film and some things worse. It's okay, and I was okay with that. Sorry, but I'm not feeling the hate flowing with this one. Maybe when they do Donkey Kong, it'll be there. Still trying to make Kristen Shaw as Dixie Kong a reality, by the way.
You think you know what it feels like to kiss a man, Tina?
Don't let me sway you one way or the other, though if you really want something from me, I'd recommend it if you're curious and see what you think of it for yourself. And hey, if you want to hear something more space-based than this film, I'd recommend my interview with TV producer Mark Asquith. If you watched, Space growing up in Canada, or want to hear how he interviewed folks like Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, the author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, well, that's enough cosmic talk for anyone, I think. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. If you liked what you saw, feel free to like, share, subscribe, check out all my social media pages, my Patreon page, all the stuff I always ramble on about. And with all that said, I will see you guys next time. Later!